Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. We're glad that you're here. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott.
And together we're Backyard Musing Science and Technology channel.
Yep. And Steve is in Apple Valley, and I am back in the bunker in Utah for the week. So we'll see how that goes. And today we're talking about. Today we're talking about interesting story involving bees and a cemetery.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
A cemetery hosts millions of vital pollinator bees, showing their ecological importance and the needs to preserve their habitats. To cut costs, Rachel Fordyce used to park for free at Ithaca's East Hill Plaza, this is in New York City, and walk through East Lawn Cemetery to her job as a technician in an entomology lab at Cornell University. One day in the spring of 2022, she arrived carrying a jar filled with bees. Would you like to know more?
That's an interesting name, Fordyce. There used to be a really lively commercial here locally in Southern California of a guy named Skip Fordyce. And I think he had I can't remember if it was a Ford dealer or Chevrolet dealer, but yeah, interesting little jingle, Fordyce. Anyway, quote, "These are all over the cemetery," she told her boss, Brian Danforth, professor of entomology in the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. The insects were identified as Ardrina regularis, also known as regular mining bee, a wild, solitary ground nesting species that plays a key role in pollination.
Okay. That chance encounter uncovered something remarkable. Researchers found that the Ithaca Cemetery holds one of the largest and oldest known aggregations of ground nesting bees, with an estimated 5.5 million individuals. That is compared to more than 200 honeybee hives packed into a 1.5 acre area and exceeds 3 times the population of Manhattan.
Well, so that's a lot. I mean, you see in rural areas, you see these beehives that are, the white kind of rectangular or square dwellings, I guess. But I've never seen that many of them, 200 of them.
We need to tax them. 5.5 million, we need to tax them.
Well, they probably will get around to that in Manhattan, in or in New York. They're in dire straits. Have you heard? All the people that are taxpayers there are trying to get the heck out of Dodge.
Yeah, and Hochul's trying to beg them to stay.
Yeah. What's his name? Mondami? Yeah, he's a real jewel. Okay, another quote here. "I'm sure that there are other large bee aggregations that exist around the world that we just haven't identified. But in terms of what it is in the literature, this is one of the largest," says Steve Hogue, 24. I don't know what that is.
Maybe he was a graduate in 2024.
Oh, okay. First author of a new study published April 13th, 2026 in the journal Apidology. The research explores the biology of these often overlooked but economically valuable bees, using the cemetery population as a case study. Hogue carried out the work as an undergraduate in Danforth's lab.
The study introduces a new approach for documenting bee biology, highlights the importance of wild bees for pollinating high-value crops such as apples, one of New York's most important agricultural products, and underscores the role of cemeteries as reservoirs of biodiversity.
Okay. Records show that an A. regularis has been collected in East Lawn Cemetery since the early 1900s, and the cemetery itself dates back to 1878. The findings support the idea that cemeteries can serve as an important habitat for wildlife. Older burial grounds, especially in urban areas, often provide refuge for a wide range of species. Kevin Morse, the cemetery superintendent, said he has seen deer, nesting geese, hawks, foxes, and coyotes on the property, along with bees, which he noted have never stung him. Okay.
Oh, so nice bees.
Never say never. Yeah, never say never.
Danforth explained that the calm environment, absence of pesticides, and minimal soil disturbance make cemeteries ideal for bee populations. Even though about 75% of bee species are solitary ground nesters, they remain poorly studied. Quote, it's the most common lifestyle for bees, Danforth said. When Hogue began his research, he found that the most detailed scientific description of A. regularis dated back to 1978, leaving much of its biology unexplored.
Female bees of this species dig underground nests where they create brood cells stocked with pollen and nectar. Eggs develop into larvae and eventually mature into adults below the surface. Interesting. In the dump. In New York, these bees typically emerge in April when midday temperatures reach 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Nearby Cornell orchards, located about 1/3 of a mile away, provides abundant early spring flowers. Combined with the area's sandy soil, which the bees prefer, this likely helps sustain the large population, Danforth said. I wonder why sandy, because sandy soil doesn't, they said that they make like a little cave, right?
Yeah, it's easy to push the sand than it is clay or silt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. To study the bees,
go ahead.
Researchers used emergence traps, small mesh enclosures placed over less than a square meter of ground. These traps funnel insects into a container as they emerge. Between March 30th and May 16th of 2023, the team set up 10 traps, collected 3,251 insects representing 16 species, including bees, flies, and beetles. A. regularis was the dominant species.
By measuring how many bees appeared in each trap, researchers estimated population density per square meter and scaled that figure to the cemetery's total area of about 6,000 square meters. Their calculations placed the population between 3 million and 8 million bees with an average of 5.5 million. That's a lot of bees.
You got to tax them. We have to tax them.
Yeah.
All right. The data showed that males emerge first during warm periods in April, followed by females a few days later. The males come out first and wait, quote, the males come out first and wait for the females, ambush them so that they have the best opportunities to mate and pass on their genes, Hogue said, confirming that A. regularis follows a pattern noted in other early spring bee species.
Sounds like a middle school dance.
Yeah.
The traps also revealed brood parasitism by nomad or cuckoo bees. Okay. These bees emerge later and lay their eggs in the nest of A. regularis. Their larvae kill the host larvae and consume the stored pollen. Man, but cannibalistic.
To expand knowledge of these insects, Danforth and his colleagues have launched a global citizen science project that encourages people to report sightings of ground nesting bees and their colonies.
Oh, boy.
Fascinating.
Okay.
I know we've got bees around our house and we've got fruit trees and, you know, and they remember I told you they nested in the water meter well.
Yeah, no, I saw them there. Yeah.
It was only a matter of time before Liberty Utilities was going to get rid of the colony. I'm like, no, don't, man. They pollinate the trees. Don't. They're not hurting anybody.
So what happened?
They're gone. Liberty took them out.
They relocated? Yeah, so we had a neighbor in Victorville that had a colony or a nest, a hive on the hood of his car, like the grill of his car. And he was freaking out. I remember he called me, he goes, I don't know what to do. What do I do? I said, well, I guess you could call animal control and see if they know anybody, or call a beekeeper, see if they can come and take it off. But I never did find out what he did. And then he moved. So, but yeah, he was freaking out. He goes, I got to use my car. I go, well, they located it at the wrong place. So, but yeah, they'll go in your house. They'll find ways into your house and start a hive in your attic or old rooms, or it's crazy. Mm-hmm. They're very industrious. So anyway, good story. But you're right about the tax thing.
Yeah,
that's a lot of tax money. So anyway,
we'll
see y'all tomorrow. See you all this afternoon. Thanks.